This is our land, Nunavut, the Arctic, a place of ice and snow. Some say this is the limit of life on Earth. To us, it's home. We shared with animals like Nanook the polar bear. Some call us Eskimo. We call ourselves Inuit, the people. The world is changing, but we keep our traditions alive. They help us survive on the land.
This is the story of a boy called Apak. He's 11 and he's on a journey with his father to learn how to be a hunter. He'll learn about the animals, and the secrets of how his ancestors survived. For Inuit, the past is also the future. In the Arctic, the new year begins in February, with the return of the sun after 3 months of darkness. The light encourages the Inuit to leave their homes and travel, to experience the land and the ways of their ancestors. Today's Inuit live in towns like Arctic Bay. The time when they lived on the land following the animals is gone. But many, like Andrew Taktu, haven't forgotten the old ways. Andrew has a son, Apak, and today Apak's joining his father on an important journey. His first big hunting trip. Andrew's keen to pass on his skills to his son. Outside, it's -40, so Apak will need the right clothes. Nothing is warmer than caribou fur.
A good hunter must learn the Inuit ways. He must learn the importance of our dogs. By learning to handle a dog team, he'll keep our culture alive. The dogs always know when it's time to travel. The hunters must journey far out over the frozen sea, leave the modern world behind, and travel back in time to experience the world of our ancestors. This is when our traditions come alive. Inuit children learn by watching and helping their parents, not by being told what to do. That's the Inuit way. The hunter uses his memory of the landscape and his understanding of the snow. Even where everything is white, he can still find his way by examining the patterns in the snow. The winds create service patterns. These always point in the same direction. A hunter must learn to read the land. This knowledge could save his life one day. Once you can read the snow, you can always find your way home, even in a blizzard. Hunters travel out on the ice to find seals, but they're never alone. Nanook, the polar bear, lives here too. We fear and admire Nanook, and we have a special word, Ilaga, for the excitement we feel when we meet him.
The big male has no interest in the hunters or their dogs. It's mating season, and he's following a female. He'll remain with her for a week or more. Sometimes it's possible to find seals by following polar bears, but not today. Instead, Andrew must rely on his own knowledge of the land.
This wilderness looks barren, but a good hunter will know where the seals are. No animal is more important to us than Nutsuk, the ringed seal. In the old days, when winter was a time of cold and hunger, Nutsuk kept us alive.
The Arctic has millions of seals who get fat feeding on fish under the ice. They can stay down a long time, more than 10 minutes, but eventually they have to surface to breathe.
Seals give us many things: food from their flesh, clothing from their skin, oil from their blubber. Nutsuk can smell a hunter from far away, but he has poor eyesight. So in the past, a good hunter fooled the seal by pretending to be one. The hunter used his harpoon to sound like a seal, scratching the ice with its claws. And then he would move closer, hoping to get within striking distance. Most often, he didn't.
In early spring, most seals are hiding in lairs under the snow. Apak's trying to find one, but the crust of hard snow conceals them well. The lairs are connected to the sea below by a hole in the ice, perfect for a quick escape. The polar bear also knows how to find the hidden seal lairs. They're usually situated behind pressure ridges in the ice. The polar bear uses its sensitive nose to sniff out the seals under the snow. Andrew has to use a different technique. He listens to the snow under his boots. If it sounds hollow, there might be a seal lair underneath.
We say that to learn to hunt well, you must watch Nanook. He is the master hunter. Like him, we have to break through quickly, before the seal escapes. All too often, the hunter is disappointed. The seal is just too fast. With night approaching, temperatures plummet. A shelter, an igloo, can be built out of nothing but snow. It has to be the right kind of snow, cut from a wind-packed snowdrift. The best snow is laid down in one single storm. It's hard and compact. This is an ancient skill, which has been passed down from generation to generation. A boy's first igloo is never easy. He must learn by watching and copying his father. and by making mistakes. Working with snow is a special skill. Only with snow that's hard and dry can the blocks be the right size and shape. The snow blocks will curve upwards, each designed to fit closely to its neighbor. Two Inuit can build an igloo in 30 minutes. In a storm, that could mean the difference between life and death. The final blocks must fit well, or the whole igloo could collapse.
The snow house is a great design. Daylight can shine through, but the cold wind is kept out. Finally, Andrew shows Apak how to cut overhangs between the layers of blocks, so that any melting snow will drip away. Once a stove is going inside, it can be really warm, several degrees above freezing. Meeting other hunters on the sea ice is a chance to share stories. Luti Pijamini is a friend of Andrew's. Not only is he a great hunter, he's also a renowned artist. Luti's visit is a chance for Apak to learn how to carve.
Carving is an ancient Inuit custom. It's a way of telling stories. Soapstone is soft and easy to work with. Carving is not just for decoration. A young boy would learn to carve weapons and tools from stone, ivory, and bone. A good hunter needs these skills to survive. We keep the past alive by teaching our young people. Elders say that country food, like seal meat, is best to keep you warm. They still remember the times of hunger. Back then, when we lived on the land, Inuit knowledge saved us from disaster.
And once, when Andrew was a baby, it saved his life. It was winter, and his family was starving. They'd not caught an animal for many months. So Andrew's father, Taktu, set out to get help from a neighboring family 80 miles away. It was such a hard journey that even his dogs died. But Taktu knew the land, so he survived, saving his family. He passed on his knowledge to his son, Andrew, so that he could survive in this land where even the best adapted wild animals can perish. And Andrew is in turn passing this knowledge on to Apak. One day a well-built igloo may save his life.
Nightfall is the time of the Northern Lights, Aksanate. Our elders told us that the dancing lights are the spirits coming to Earth to take away the souls of the dead.
Polar bears must teach their young too, where to find seal lairs and how to break into them. Hiding in their lairs, the seals can make a fast escape. Only 1 in 20 hunts is successful. Whether polar bear or Inuit, only good hunters survive out here. And like Apak, polar bear cubs must watch and learn, and make their own mistakes. The bears will need food soon. But there's another more successful way to hunt seals. And again, this is a technique that Inuit have copied from polar bears. Andrew is looking for the right sign, a very small hole in the ice. This can only be one thing. An igloo, a seal breathing hole.
We used to hunt seals at their igloos with harpoons. The broken surface ice means a seal is using this one, but it may have several igloos. We say a good hunter is patient. Nanook too knows to be patient. Even underwater, Nutsilk can hear the sound above the ice, so the hunter must be silent and still. He'll know when the seal is close, because the approaching animal disturbs the water in the breathing hole. We believe that animals choose to give themselves to us, but only if we treat them with respect. The seal will provide food and clothing for the family, and the dogs will eat too. It's time to head home. The dogs know it. Having a good dog team is wonderful. They always know where home is, and dogs don't break down. Inuit and dogs share a long history. We used to spend all year on the land, following the animals. Our dogs needed great strength and stamina, just like us.
The lives of the Inuit changed in the 1950s when the Canadian government built permanent settlements for them. Now they live in towns like Arctic Bay, but the land still lives on in their culture. Apak's keen to show off his carving to his mum.
Better than mine. I don't live in
Apak's well aware of the importance of women in Inuit life. Traditionally, women sew clothes for the family. A hunter only survived out on the sea ice if he had good clothing. Apak's great-aunt, Kapik, is an expert seamstress. An Inuit seamstress can turn any animal's skin into clothing. Seal skins for boots, caribou for coats, polar bear for the warmest leggings.
This is why animals are so special to us. They keep us alive. But animals aren't just for food and clothing. They also feed the spirit. A good carver spends hours watching animals, looking for inspiration. The skill of a carver is turning a moment like this into art.
And no animal inspires Luti more than the polar bear. When Luti sees something he likes, he can capture the moment in his mind and take it back to his workshop. This carving is from a time when Luti saw a bear hunting at a seal lair. Such remarkable work is only made possible by his understanding of animal behavior.
Only by knowing the land and its animals can a carver capture the spirit of the Arctic. Carvers are storytellers. They tell the story of the land.
It's early June, the time of light. Now the sun never sets. The warmer weather transforms the Arctic. After several weeks of light, the sea comes alive with plankton. Plankton that will support huge numbers of shrimp, fish, birds, and mammals. This is a time of plenty. As the sea ice melts, the first visitors appear, like ghosts. They will follow the leads in the sea ice to travel to their coastal feeding grounds. It's an important event for the Inuit.
We call the white whales Hilalugak. When they arrive, we thank the spirit who created and controls all the animals of the sea. Our ancestors were happy when the white whales arrived. It meant the season of hunger was over.
The rich sea also attracts birds who come to breed. The open water between ice floes is ideal for birds like mures and guillemots. Mures are designed for the sea, with short stubby wings and a streamlined body. These birds are built to fly underwater. They can dive after fish to amazing depths of 150 meters. For birds like fulmars that don't dive, there's still plenty to eat at the water's surface. By June, the snow is too wet and too warm for dogs, so Andrew and Apak travel by snowmobile. It's their last chance to hunt before the ice melts.
This is the time of the tenting moon. We call it Tubirtut, when snow is too soft for building igloos. The sea ice is still thick, but the surface melts fast. It's only good for snow castles. Before long, this whole place will melt, and another visitor will arrive. Akvik, the bowhead whale.
These are the largest animals in the Arctic. They survive by feeding on the smallest, plankton. The bowhead is so strong that if necessary it can break through thick ice to create breathing holes. The broken ice hides another visitor that Andrew and Apak hope to find. It's one of the most unusual of all animals.
The narwhal, a langwak, the whale with a long tusk. It's the last of the whales to return for the summer. Many hunters come to see them return. We have hunted them for centuries. Wolves, like people, and must be respected. Those who hunted without respect would be punished. Hunting is so important to Inuit that in our language, the word for hunter, angonositi, is the same as the word for man. So a boy becomes a man when he becomes a hunter. The elders will be pleased. They remember what it was like to be cold and hungry. Animals like this kept them alive. The skin is one of our favorite foods. We call it maktak. The food will be shared with the community. That's how we've always done it. People must help one another to survive. Maktak is so rich in vitamins that we don't need fruit or vegetables, even if we could grow them. European explorers didn't eat maktak and suffered from scurvy. When it's time to go home, the hunter makes a parcel out of the skin so they can carry the food back to town. Nothing from this hunt will be wasted, especially not the tusk. We Inuit have adapted our traditions to this new world. Carving has always been important for making oil lamps, harpoons, and many more hunting tools. Now, we can make a living from it. Artists keep alive our love of the animals. By carving, we celebrate the wildlife.
Even European explorers thought the narwhal was special. When they saw their tusks, they wondered if these were the unicorns of legend. These whales travel in small groups of about a dozen. The young calves stay close to their mothers for safety. Females don't usually have tusks. Andrew thinks they're here to mate. The tusk is an extra long canine tooth. It's not used as a weapon, but instead to attract the attention of females. The tusk can be up to 3 meters long and weigh as much as 10 kilos. Female narwhals must like big tusks. The narwhal will stay for the summer until the ice closes in and forces them to leave. Some whales don't make the return journey. They fall prey to that other hunter of the Arctic. If the polar bear can drag a heavy whale onto the ice, he will have a feast. By early July, the weather changes again. The wind is strong, but it doesn't stop the seabirds. They must get their fill as quickly as they can. Soon the ice will break up and their meal will return to the sea.
This is Sina, the floe edge, where the land-pass ice meets the sea. It's a dangerous place which can break up at any time. Only an experienced hunter would come here now. The young hunter learns by walking in his father's footsteps. It's worth the risk. This is a place of wonder. Nanook may be asleep, but he could also be hunting, waiting for a seal. The bear has spotted them. Nanook will stay here until the ice breaks up. He will only return to land when there's nothing left to walk on. The rest of us head home sooner. It's safer to travel on ice close to the shore, even if it is wet. A change in the wind can cause the breakup in just a few hours. All around the coast, the ice can vanish overnight. The hunting grounds will soon be scattered by the sea.
By early August, most of the ice and snow has left the land too. Meltwater fills the rivers. The warmth of the sun thaws enough frozen ground to permit a brief season of colour. The land is transformed from white to all the colours of the rainbow. Summer is a time for fishing. Andrew knows a good place 2 hours from town, which his father showed him 50 years ago.
Before we lived in towns, we would journey every summer to new hunting grounds. This was a time when food was plentiful, both on the land and in the river. The fish could enter at high water, but could not leave when the tide fell. We would stock up on fish for the coming winter, and we still do today. Methods have changed, but fortunately, the fish still come to the same old sites. The fish run is a great gift from nature. The best time to catch them is at the new moon tide. Every experience adds to the hunter's knowledge of the land, and to know the land is to prosper. The fish is cut to help it dry fast in the Arctic sun. The dried fish will be a treat in the winter, when fresh food is hard to find.
The fishing trip will be Apak's last journey out onto the land this season. Summer doesn't last long in the Arctic. The sun is already preparing to leave for another winter. The land anticipates the coming freeze. And so do the animals. Snow geese head south in great flocks. The sea ice returns just as fast as it left. Now winter's really here. The ice in the bay builds up layer upon layer. Soon it'll all freeze together, making a winter playground for Apak and his friends. They'll only enjoy it while the sun lasts. By early October, the town is frozen in once more. There'll be no more boat trips for another 10 months. All boats must be brought ashore to prevent them being crushed by the ice. It can be so cold that the freeze-up happens in just one night.
The great darkness, Davidjo, is approaching. It's the hardest time. We won't see the sun again until February. Elders remember times when the only light came from seal oil lamps. It was a woman's job to keep it lit. The long darkness also meant there was always time to sew. A carver can use his time to finish his sculpture. Nutsuk in its lair, being hunted by Nanook, an eternal scene here in the Arctic. Our bond with animals is strong. Our ancestors discovered the wisdom of the Arctic. So long as we keep it alive, our children will know what it means to be Inuit. Our ancestors survived by following the animals. Today we still follow them in our hearts.